Hello everyone, this video is to speak about my experience yesterday. I got arrested yesterday and I'm sharing it because if it can help one person, I'll always share it, okay? I went to a supermarket with my friend and I'll just touch on this. As I've been researching more about the law and the system that we are in, I've realised that the system's not against us. It's actually for us, and it's a good system. Okay, it's a good system. So we need to understand that. And it's a big insight I got from yesterday that I'll share. And fundamentally, the police are there to make you feel safe. Okay. So as I walked into the shopping centre, I saw a police car in the car park. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to put faith in the system, and I'm going to trust that I feel safe that the police are here. So I'm walking through Coles, and two police officers, one's a big guy. He comes up, he goes, "Hey mate," he storms up to me, and he's quite aggressively, and he says, "Where's your mask?" I said, "Oh, sorry officer, I'm exempt." And he said, "Show me your exemption." I said, "To my understanding, officer, are you a medical doctor? Do I have to do that?" And he said yes. Okay, so he's broke one law there, okay, because under the Privacy Act, to my understanding, under the Privacy Act, he's my privacy is private. Okay, I have a right to privacy. So I said to him, can I just ask you, am I a living man? So he said, "Yes, you are a living man," and it was getting recorded. So I said, "Thank you for establishing that on record." I said, because he said that he has a right under this new COVID Act, okay? So I said, "Is it possible that you can show me where an act applies to a living man that you've just established?" And he said, he didn't know what I was talking about. He actually didn't have a clue what was going on. He said, "Mate, if you don't show me your exemption, or you don't put a mask on, I'm going to arrest you." So I put my hands out and I said, "Well, I'll comply under duress." It means I'll comply. I don't consent, but I comply under pressure. You know, you're making me feel threatened. And I said, "As far as I'm aware, officer, you're here to make people feel safe, and I feel very threatened right now." And he said, "I don't care, I'm going to arrest you." I said, "You do what you got to do, I comply under duress." So he put me in handcuffs and he took me out, and as he was marching me out, a couple of people with masks on were videoing it for me, okay? And I was shouting it to everyone. I said to everyone, "Are we going to allow this to happen? I'm a healthy man, I'm exempt, and I'm doing my shopping for my family, and everyone going to allow this? Are we just going to allow people to get arrested around us?" And a lot of people were looking at the floor. Takes us outside and he says, "What's your name?" I said, "I'd like to protect my rights to my privacy, because this is to my understanding." I'm still quite early on in understanding the law myself, okay? So what they're trying to do is, there's the world of the public and world of the private. One is the living being, and the other is a paper fictional entity, which is your birth certificate and your name and everything. And when they say, "Are you Nicholas Gianassi," let's say, if you say yes, it's called jaundice, I think. It's when you the paper entity, you cannot be fined, cannot go to jail. They need the physical being to identify with that, okay? They say, "Okay, I am this name." Okay, so now you can get fines, now you can get arrested, and so on. So I didn't say I was who I was, okay? So he says, "Well, you're going to get arrested." I said, "I'll comply under duress." So he puts me in the back of the police car with my friend. And we were there for about an hour. He kept going away, and he kept coming back, and I had a really beautiful conversation with the good guy. And because they came back and they said, "Look, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a fine, and you can have a court date, but we're going to let you go." And I said, "Well, I know that a lot of these people that are getting these fines and then going to court, and they want to go to court because you guys are breaking the law, and these fines don't hold up in court, the court is throwing them out." So I said, "This is what I'm saying. You either let me go, right, or you arrest me and we're going to go all the way. I said, because to my understanding, you've broke a few laws already and I want to go to court. So he went away again. He's looking at like the law. He's trying to figure out what's, I don't know what he was trying to figure out. He even called another two police officers around to give him a book. Now, I don't know whether that was a law book, but they took a while looking at it. And I was with this other police officer. He told me his name. I said to him, how's it wearing a mask? And he said, oh, it's really hard. And I told him a few things to look up. I said, check out mechanical worms in masks. Go through a different search engine than Google. I said, we just got talking. I said, I appreciate your job, boys. I appreciate you guys have got a hard job. I said, but we need you. We need the police right now. I said, the state that we're in, if we haven't got good police officers doing the right thing, then we're in a lot of trouble. And I planted a few seeds. He was really open. We had a beautiful conversation. And I said to him, I said, I know you're a good man. And I said, you know why I know you're a good man? I said, because you got beautiful eyes. He had piercing blue eyes. And I said, and that's not me I'm not a homosexual or anything. I said, mate, you've got beautiful eyes, and the eyes are the seat of the soul. And I said, I know you're a good man. He just kept looking down. And excuse the dogs. I'm just outside the house, and the dogs might do a bit of barking. And I said, I know you're a good person. I know you've signed up to do the right thing. I said, but is this the right thing? I said, mate, is this the right thing? I'm a peaceful man. I'm being polite. I'm not resisting arrest. I'm sure you do deal with a lot of drugs and alcohol cases, people who are rowdy and whatever. I said, but mate, does this feel right to you? I said, mate, there's a spiritual aspect to this life that we're in right now. And, if we do the wrong thing in this life, it'll affect us in future lifetimes. I said, you don't have to believe me. I'm just speaking to you, not as an officer, but just as a human being. And he was really open. He was a really nice guy. So the guy who had this big persona, which I knew it wasn't his personality, he was just playing the big policeman. He comes round and he goes, and as I say, this is after a long time in the back of the car. He said, I'm going to give you a fine. He had a piece of paper in his hand. And he said, and I'm going to let you go. And I said, well, I don't agree to do business with you today, officer. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, what I mean is I'm not doing business with you. I'm not taking that fine off you. I've done nothing wrong. You haven't answered any of my questions. And I said, I'm not taking it. So he gets my phone and he puts it in my phone case and then takes it. And I said, I'm not taking it. So he said, it's your phone. I said, oh, just for the record, this is all being recorded. I'm taking my phone, but I'm not taking the fine. And then he says, I'm going to let you go. What are you going to do now? I said, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to get the shopping for my family that I came out for. And he said, if you go in there, I'm going to arrest you. I said, man, I'm sitting in the back of the police car. I said, we can do this all day. I've done nothing wrong. And he said, under the COVID Act, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I understand that you keep repeating this, but can you show me where an act applies to a living man? And you've established that I'm a living man. And he didn't know what was going on. He said, Nick, if you go in there, I'm going to arrest you. I said, you might as well arrest me now. I comply under duress. And he said, don't do it, Nick. And I said, I need to get shopping for my dogs. I've done nothing wrong, okay? So I'm going in. So I walked in. He grabbed me again, this time a bit more rough, takes me to the car, puts me in the car, takes me to the police station. So I goes in the police station, sees the sergeant. They've turned the mics off now, the cameras, and I said, I want this recording. He said, you're being recorded everywhere. I said, is it audio? And he said, no, just video, which I found really interesting because everything they're offering you in there, it might be recorded audio, they might have been lying to me, but everything that's being recorded in there, would have been nice to have known that there was audio. My mate never got arrested. I understood he didn't want to go back in, so I gave him my phone and I gave him my car keys and said, let my wife know I'm okay, but I'm going in. So then the sergeant told me to sit in the cell, so I just sat down and meditated. I said, can I have a glass of water, please? He said, yeah. He gave me a glass of water. So I'm sitting there and I'm meditating for probably an hour. And what was I meditating on? I thought, I'm here. What am I going to do? I meditated for the police officers. I meditated for their families. I wished them all the best. I apologized if I've ever done this to them. And then I tasted the water. And it's literally been, I don't even know how long, it's been years and years since I've drank tap water. and this tap water was like so full of chemicals. And I thought to myself, in the moment, I thought, this water is so far away from its natural environment. It's stuck in these dirty metal pipes, copper pipes, and it's full of chemicals. It's in a worse situation than I'm in. I said, even if this whole situation was for me to chant and pray and say love to this water, then it's been worth it. And I just sat there and I meditated for the water. After a few hours of being in the cell, the guy who arrested me, I thought he'd gone now, but the guy who arrested me comes in, he says, right, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a window cleaner. He said, how much do you earn? I said, what's that got to do with anything? And then he walked back out. Then he comes out again and he goes, right, you're going to have to give us fingerprints and photographs. Are you going to do that? And I said, if it's an offer, no. But if I have to, then yeah, I'll comply under duress. He said, what does comply under duress mean? I said, my friend, with all due respect, if you don't know what complying under duress means as a police officer, I mean, where do we go from here? I said, it's not up to me to explain what that means to you. And he goes, well, you're going to do it or not, or you're choosing to stay in your cell? I said, I'm not choosing to stay in my cell. I said, I'm not consenting to this. I'm complying under duress. If you said I could go, I'd go. I said, I'm being held here against my will. And he said, well, you don't have a choice. You have to give your fingerprints and photographs. I said, that's fine. I comply under duress. That's okay. So I gets up, gives my fingerprints. And as he's taking my photographs, another police officer who I hadn't seen comes in. And I listened to them talk and I heard their first names, because it's always Sergeant this or whatever, and I heard their first names. So I knew this guy who'd arrested me, I knew his first name, and I knew this other new guy who'd come in, I knew his first name. So when I got put back in the cell, it's just me and the new guy. So I called him by his first name. I said, how's the job? Is it a hard job? And he said, oh mate, he said, it's a hard job. And I said, I appreciate you guys have got a hard job, I really do. I said, mate, but we need you. We really do need good police officers right now. I said, do you think you'll save out your time? And he said, me, and he named the guy who arrested me. He said, we actually trained together 25 years ago. And I was like, I just thought to myself, 25 years in the game, and you don't know what I'm saying. I mean, that's scary. That's scary that these people don't know what the law is. They're just enforcing something. So anyway, I said, oh, okay, yeah. And he said, you know, even coming to work today, mate, he said, I just didn't want to come in. He said, my days are numbered. He said, I've got PTSD. And we had this really deep conversation about police officers I know who've had PTSD. And I really just felt how these people who are enforcing the law, they come into work, they don't want to be there. They're highly damaged beings. They've seen some of the worst things a human could see, I'm assuming. And they're just following orders. They're just programmed to follow orders, and they probably go home and drink alcohol and just crash out. I had a lot of compassion for them. And I heard that the guy who arrested me just had a shoulder reconstruction, and he'd been off for like 6 weeks or 6 months even. And when I seen him, I said, is your shoulder okay? And he said, yeah. I said, how'd you do it? He said, lifting too much weight. I said, I've had a bad shoulder in the past, you know what I mean? He was like, I said, doing similar things, you know what I mean? Trying to like just get to know him. He softened up a little bit. But then when I was talking to the other guy, he said, are you getting your vaccine? And I said, I never say yes or no. I just said, mate, I'm just waiting for 2 court cases to see how they turn out. And then I'll decide whether I'm going to go ahead with it or not. And he said, well, what are the court cases? And I said, Ryan Folnick and Michael Obersonier. And he said, mate, I hope you don't get the virus in that time. And I said, yeah, well, you know. I said, well, the latest from the government, they're saying that it doesn't stop you getting the virus. He said, that's right, it doesn't stop you getting it. It just lessens the symptoms. I said, with all due respect, isn't one of the main symptoms no symptoms? And he said, yeah, in some people. And I said, well, I don't know why you get a vaccine to stop symptoms of no symptoms. And he didn't really know where to go. And then he sort of tried to get a bit on his mate's side. And he said, you know, it's a bit irresponsible to not wear a mask even for a short period of time. And I said, but with all due respect, I really respect my health. And I do get irritations. I feel claustrophobic when I wear them, and they're not good for your health. So if I'm going to protect my health, I'm not just going to not protect my health. It means a lot to me, my health. So I had a good conversation, and then after a few hours, they let me go. And when I was going, I said, can you do me a favour, please? Because when I was, tell you one more thing, the police officer said to me, I'm going to write out your conditions for bail. He said, you can either stay overnight and go to the first court case in the morning, or you can have a conditional bail where you have 3 weeks where you can go home, and then you can go to a court date. I said, well, I'll take the latter, I'll go with that one. He said, I'm going to print up your bail, and a lot of people say they're going to sign it, but then they don't. And he said, it's going to take me half an hour. So if I do this, are you going to sign it? And I said, I'm going to sign all rights reserved. And he said, what does that mean? He didn't even know what that meant. I said, well, that just means that I'm signing your document, but all rights reserved means I reserve all my God-given rights. And he went, will it be a signature? I said, it'll be my signature, which is just my name in print, and it'll be all rights reserved. And he said, okay, I'll do that. So I did that, and then I got let out. And the take home from it was, I didn't resist it, okay? And I'm sharing this because I hope I will always share what I learn. I realised that to some degree, I'll research whatever I can now. I'm going to represent myself in court. Anybody who knows this, I've reached out to Tom Barnett. He's a hard man to get hold of, which I'm assuming he's dealing with a lot right now. A lot of people are probably going through what I'm going through. But even if there is any other people in the community who might be able to help me with the next step about going to court, otherwise I'll just represent myself with what I know, which is very, very limited. I'd appreciate if you could reach out. But I just want to thank everybody for the love and support. You guys have just been just amazing. I've been a bit teary today, to be honest with you. I've had a few beautiful messages and experiences. But what I wanted to say was, the police force, we do need them. I even said to these police officers, I said, mate, you know, I mentioned you guys won't have a job in 5 to 10 years. And he said, what do you mean? I said, mate, there's an artificial intelligence robot police officer in New Zealand. I said, you guys soon will be replaced by robots, and if they want to enforce something, they don't care about your rights, they will enforce it, and the people they're enforcing it will be you, your families and your children. I said, please think about it, please do the right thing, because I know that your moral compass saying that this is all wrong, I know that, and I feel for you having to wear a mask all day. And I just chanted and prayed for their families. And when I was going out, I said, can you do me a favour? And he said, yeah. I said, the police officers that arrested me, can you please let them know that I genuinely, sincerely wish them and their families all the very best, and I hope his shoulder gets better soon. And thank you all for because they were being really nice in the police station. I said, thank you for being so kind to me, and I'll see you. And I went, and you know, I'm not a depressed person. I love life. I love my life. I've got beautiful people around me. I've got a loving family. I've got a beautiful wife and son. So I deeply appreciate life, and I love life, and I want to be here for a long time, but I'm not attached to life, and I do not fear death. And I'm just letting everyone know that I will die for the people, for doing the right thing. I will always do the right thing by the people, and I'm really seeing what I've seen for 10, 11 years come to fruition. And if we don't come together, it's going to be messy, you know what I mean? And I had a friend yesterday who was just joking. He's a lovely guy, he's a compassionate guy, and he was just saying a joke, and he said, you know, Nick, he said, maybe the Illuminati are doing us a favour by taking out all the people that are going to be affected by this, are the ones that are compliant, that are just watching the telly, that are getting the vaccine and all the rest of it, that are having a go at us. And I know he was joking, it was just a joke, it was just like a laugh. But I had an insight, and I thought to myself, you know what? The people that we are doing this for, I don't want to be getting arrested, I don't want to be doing this, I want to be spending time with my family. But the people that we're doing this for are the ones that are throwing us under the bus and trying to feed us to the wolves. So yeah, it's been a big couple of days, but it's all good. I don't want you to think me getting teary is I've just been moved today a lot by people's love and compassion. So I just want to thank everyone. And take care of yourselves. I love you all. Bye-bye.